folks, and welcome to Telling Tinder Tales, the podcast where the search for love often goes wrong, dates get strange, but the one thing we can be sure of is that we'll have a good laugh about it with me, Chris O'Neill.
And me, Thomasin Lockwood. Every week our guests call in from all around the world and we hear their wildest, weirdest and occasionally even wholesome dating stories.
So Thomasin, who have we got calling in this week?
So we have Ali Woods. Ali, hello. Tell us where you're calling from. Tell us a bit about yourself.
Hello, I'm in a flat in Hackney that I've moved into recently with my amazing partner.
Congratulations.
And that's me. So I am a success story, not like the usual schmucks I'm sure you have on this show with their awful dating life. Some of us got it right. Just remember, if you're single, you have a definite character fault. That's what you got to just remember. There is something wrong with you fundamentally and you can't connect with other people because everyone else is fine. So just remember that. That's what I always remembered. So
I love this. I like, for me, it's like, you know, when you're dating and single, you're like, I don't need anyone feeling sorry for me. I'm so independent. And then you get in a relationship and you're like, you losers. Which, like, I don't know. I feel like the more you protest, the more something's going on inside your head. But congratulations, Ali. Hackney in London for any of our global listeners as well, which is it's a very cool area you've moved to.
Oh, yeah. Well, it is now I'm here. Tell you that. That is the big change in Hackney that's happened. Everything's got a bit cooler.
For anyone who doesn't know, Ali Woods, he's known online for some very, very funny sketches on Instagram, TikTok. Check him out.
I thought you were about to explain that. I thought you were like, for anyone who doesn't know, Ali's a big loser. That's why that was a joke. I thought you were about to say that. That's why we were all laughing.
That's why that joke was so funny.
Yeah, that's why that, if you don't know him or see him, that's why.
Well, I was curious though. Like, obviously, you're in a relationship now. It's going well, obviously, by the sound of the move-in. But in the past, has anyone ever slid into your DMs? And have you ever gone on a date with them?
Oh yeah, of course. That's the whole point of doing it. What do you mean? That's what?
Yeah.
I'm a bloke. Being a man online is so much nicer. It's absolutely unbelievable.
I was going to say I've no recollection of this.
Oh yeah, because you intimidate men by having, being funny and having a personality. Whereas women are so nice. So that's really great. So they will message and go, "Oh, you're cute." Not as much now, but certainly before when I was younger, thinner, and also maybe doing more stuff about dating and not in a relationship, and you'd get a bit of that, especially with on stage as well. Like on stage, especially if you're going on and you're kind of a young guy in your 20s talking about failures and dating and stuff. That was always, you'd always get you could get some DMs after that. And sometimes I'd go on a date and I kind of had a bit of fun doing that. And I was always very clear what it was. But the problem is when you start off with that situation, the power dynamic's so weird. It's kind of hard to really build anything proper out of that. I will say that my first ever serious relationship, she did actually DM me, but then deleted it. But she works in comedy, and so we'd met through comedy, and she DM'd. I thought best not reply because I don't really want to get into anything with someone else who works in comedy. And then instead, we ended up meeting again and chatting, and had a 1.5 year relationship, and we broke up, and she wanted to do other things. Then I wrote a show about it, so it didn't really go well, that plan.
It's interesting, right? Because I feel like there's always the general rule, don't date your colleagues, don't do that. But that's, I guess, you're thinking of an office environment and making things awkward in meetings. Whereas being a comedian, right? It's kind of a very solitary thing. It's freelance, so. It's like plumbers dating. It's like, you're not really going to interact. But obviously, when you think that your life is your material, it's so different.
So, Thomasin, it sounds like you're trying to justify having dated a lot of comedians. Now, that is you don't have to bring that on here. That's not my part. I have no part. I'm not your therapist. You go justify that however you want. I completely disagree, but good for you.
No, I was going to say that, you know what? It's interesting as well because as comedians, right, we get so lasered into seeing through material. And I remember watching at one point your sketches online, and there was a slight shift. And I remember thinking He's happy now. He's got a girlfriend. I
You're
think
right.
he's got a girlfriend now.
I've started getting fatter. And that is completely correct. You spotted it right. That's why I've had to start doing more landscape sketches so I can fit in the thing. But
that's why we don't record this podcast. So, you know.
Yeah, well, I assume it's not even an audio recorder. This is just a practice one that you have sometimes. It's good to keep sharp for the real episodes. But yeah, I mean, certainly. So, I mean, I do think often my sketches, as much as my stand-up material, more so, are a reflection of what's going on in my life right now. That's where I get the ideas from. So it does shift sometimes from, you know, dating and maybe some more cynical takes to more sort of, you know, relationship or happy takes. I'm glad that you picked up on that.
Well, I think, Ali, we've got to the point where we are ready to hear your story. Do you want to tell us your story, please, Ali?
Let's do it. So this is a long time ago. We're winding back the years. This is like start of 2016, and because I got to say to you as well, you're called Telling Tinder Tales. I haven't been on dating apps since the start of 2017, and not because I've been in a relationship since then. I just couldn't be bothered with them. Too much admin. I was trying to make it in comedy. I was like, this is boring, and never went back. And I honestly, I love that decision. For me, I had such a great time. It's always been enjoyable being off them. Never once thought of downloading them. But you know, for all those still out there swiping and losing their will to live, like, good luck. You know, I hope it goes well. But yeah, so I met this lady in Clapham at the Clapham Grand. That was my first error.
Lovely. So just for any of our international listeners, just give it a quick context for Clapham Grand, because it sounds grand.
So it's like a place in a sort of leafy part of South London with sort of a load of like evil Hugh Grants and sort of very mean women. It's very posh corporate area of London for young posh corporate people who are in their 20s, sort of living in London and ripping it up, and then before they sort of move to the villages in their 30s and start voting Conservative. Not that they ever stop, but you know, not visibly voting Conservative, you know. So I was out on a night out there with some of my friends, and I remember I got off with this lady, and she was nice and attractive, more attractive than I thought I would be able to get off with. So I was like, very happy about that. We swapped numbers, and so she's off for going on a date. So Friday night we're at Bank, which is like, we're talking about corporate central London. It's literally named after the buildings that it has there, right? So it's Bank. And we're meeting up at a pub, and we're just getting a bottle of wine. She's Australian, right? And I'm like, you know, when you're buzzing about a date, because you're like, you know, what was I at the time? 22. I'm like buzzing. I'm like, wow, she's like really attractive. Like, she's got a good job, man. We're going on this date. This is like London life. I just moved out with my parents. I was like, this is sick. So cool. So we're having this bottle of wine, and we're chatting, and the chat's going all right. Like, it's kind of fun or whatever. We're chatting weirdly about like Tupac and Biggie, and sort of debating over who's the best out of those two, as sort of, you know, experts in the field, being from sort of the borough of Barnet, a little white kid. But that was us. We're having a chat, and then we got onto this a second bottle of wine. So it's like, we're getting through it now. This is like, you know, we're having a good time. It's a spring evening, you know, the sun's kind of coming out, and we're outside, and we're just outside chilling, drinking. I'm like, this is perfect, right? But just going all right. It's not like we're absolute soulmates or whatever, but it's all fun. And then I'm noticing that actually a couple times she's now slapping me. I don't know how best to describe this, but she's sort of, and it started, you know, on bottle of wine one as sort of a playful, oh, you sort of thing. But now, like, as you know, the sips of this Sauvignon Blanc are going down, the slaps are becoming with a more volatile. So I'm kind of now starting to get a bit slapped, and feel like when I'm sort of making jokes or whatever, she's like, "Oh, shut up," and kind of hit me to the point where I kind of pause that, and I'm like now thinking, should I leave or should I not? And then she slaps me one more time, and I'm like, I grab her hat, like because she goes, and I'm like, can you stop doing that? And then she's like, oh my God, you're so sensitive. What the fuck?
What the
And I was like, I was like, I don't think it's too sensitive to say I would not like you to slap me on the face. She's like, fucking hell, mate, you're so sensitive. I can't believe it. And then she was like, all right, fine. So she stopped slapping me. I'm like, all right, okay. So the slaps have stopped. Then as we're getting through the second bottle of wine, she starts, we're talking, and I've forgotten what we're saying, but maybe talking about London people. And it's like, yeah, oh my God, it's so rude. They're like Koreans. And I go, well, I'm not sure you can call a whole country rude. And she's like, you have no idea. I know way more Koreans than you where I'm from. Like, Koreans are all fucking rude. And then I'm like, I generally don't think that's a good thing to say. And she's like, God, you're literally so sensitive. My God, like, are you gay? Are you like gay?
This is not real. This is insane.
So then I'm kind of thinking, right, this is spiraling out of control. And in my head, there's a decision to be made. And you got to say to yourself, Ali, like, this is not a date you should be on. You're not vibing this person. So maybe just call it and go home. But then there was a second voice that was like, well, you don't have to be in a relationship with this person, but they're like, they're hot and, you're out, we're out already.
God.
So, let's see where this goes. Like, so we're having this argument, but I'm kind of like, look, okay, let's just leave it. If you want, we can have another drink here and, maybe just move on to other subjects. And she's kind of like, yeah, fine. All right. So she's like, okay.
Oh
so
my God.
We're on to our third bottle of wine, right? And then we're like, we've like moved into the booth. And now we're like making out in the booth, right, of the pub. And then I'm like, well, I don't know what you want, but this is when I was 22. So like all my friends are out. I was like, I don't know what you want to do, but like, I feel like maybe we should move on from the pub. I've got mates out who are like in central London if we want to join, or we can do whatever. And she's kind of like, oh yeah, like why not? So like, I'm like, all right, let's go on a night out. Yeah, fuck it, why not? So then we leave and we pick up another bottle of wine on the way. So there's a fourth bottle of wine here. And then we're going into the tube. And as we're getting down to the platform, she's like pushing me to the side and like really like making out really strongly with me, like really pushing me up against, like on the tube platform,
Oh, boy.
And this is like 8 or 9 p.m. probably. So then I'm kind of like, obviously, like, we don't have to go meet my friends if you don't want to. I'm feeling like, okay, she wants to, she's done messing around, right? So I'm like, we can go back to mine if you want. And she's like, yeah, of course. She's like, kind of like, yeah, of course. Like, let's do that. Why are we going to meet your friends? I'm like, all right, safe. So we got on the tube. There's only one seat. So she's sitting down. I'm standing up. And she's like, she's grabbing my cock. Like, she's like,
no, she's not. Oh my God.
And I'm like, oh, this is like all nice, fun and games, but like, I'm pretty sure there are kids on this tube, it's like 9 p.m. on a Friday. And then she goes to me, oh, you could have ravaged my tits if you wanted to. You just had to ask. So in my head, I'm like, this person's, I think they're quite mental, but I'm also like, I'm now obviously drunk. She's obviously drunk. I'm kind of like, maybe let's just go back, have a fun time. Like this, she's obviously like really into it, whatever's going on. So I'm like, all right, okay, let's, we'll stop the drinking and then maybe just like head back. She's up for it. It's all good. So we get off of my stop and we got the escalator. I'm about to go through the barriers. And now I'm just suddenly, when you realize that the person you're with isn't around you anymore. And I kind of look back and then she's sitting on like, those random kind of benches that are in a tube, not on the platform, but sometimes like just around by the barriers and stuff. She's sitting on one of those. She's got her head in her hands.
What the fuck?
And I'm like, no, there's been no verbal change at all. So, we're on the escalator going up, being like, oh, cheeky, silly stuff, blah, blah. And then like, and then suddenly she's got her head in her hands. So I kind of go over to her and I don't really know what now is going on. So I'm kind of like, hey, you all right? And she just goes, can you fuck off? Can you fuck off right now? And I'm like, I don't know, is this a joke? I'm like, because there's been no sign of any change until this moment. So I'm like, is she messing around with me? And and she's like, just fuck off. And I'm like, all right, okay. I'm a bit worried about leaving you here. Are you okay to get home? Like now I'm like, okay, this is my stop, but are you going to like go back and get on the tube? I feel bad like just leaving you here. And then her face changes. She suddenly starts laughing. She's like, ah, and then just like goes through the tube barriers, goes out into the street. Now I'm like following her because now she's like off. Like, I don't know.
What?
And I'm trying to, I forgot what her name is, but I'm trying to be like, yo, like, what are you doing? I'm like, I live down here. You can come back and like come to mine if you want to, whether it's to like do whatever or not, but you can like, if that like just to fuck, because this is getting a bit weird, or like go back on the tube if you want to go home, but like I don't want to just leave you on the streets. And then she's like goes up to this group of blokes and she's like, help, this guy's following me, he's trying to take me somewhere.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, no. I'm like, no. Fortunately for me in that situation, but they kind of looked at the situation and she was now kind of laughing again, and like they looked at me being like, I don't know what's going on. And they were kind of like, I don't think that's what's happening here. And so, but then she's like now like on the street, she's loose, and I'm going like, what are you doing? What's going on? She literally just runs. She runs across the road, and I'm like, well, I'm not going to run after her.
Yeah.
So I just messaged her being like, hope you got home okay, and then went home, and never messaged me back. That was it. I have no idea what happened to this lady.
Wow. What a story, Ali. Oh my goodness. I love how much Hope was really doing the heavy lifting, and Hope you got home okay after watching her like run through traffic into the night.
I still remember it so vividly, just like looking at a woman like running, and she wasn't like looking back or anything. It was just like she was going for a run. She just started running, and I was like, well,
it's like a video game character in like Grand Theft Auto going rogue. You know, you're like, I'm just gonna like run around the street and just do whatever. I also say, like, I know you didn't mean it that way, but I thought it was so funny how you said this woman ran up to the group of guys being like, help me, I'm being followed. And you were like, fortunately, they didn't believe her.
Yeah, I was like, because at the time I was like, if these guys believe her, I could be getting
dead.
the shit kicked out of me. Yeah, and like, who knows what else? But like, it was just fortunate for me. But you're kind of like, in another instance, maybe that was like these guys are very astute, but maybe they actually just don't believe women at all.
Oh my god, no! Well, I mean, it sounds like she really told on herself. I will say, once you revealed that you were 22 years old at the time, the story made a lot more sense, because effectively you went on a date with a homophobic, racist lady who alcoholic who bullied you.
But Thomasin, you're forgetting she was quite fit.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's yin and yang to life in a lot of ways.
I also had a theory as to her accent maybe helping her get away with it, because on the other side with women, often like, you know, the Italian and French men, you know, it's like, no, he's negging me, but it's in an accent, so it's exotic. Like, do you think there was like a little bit of a, like, if she'd had your accent, would it have sounded crazier? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely the fun, and also just I think the Aussie-ness of it, of like the sort of, so my kind of theory, and I think the Aussie women that I've met are often like this, and the Irish women that I've met are often like this. You may be able to suggest your take, but they're lads. They're like lads. They're like emotionally reserved, chatty drinkers who, you know, would, and definitely when she was calling me gay in that Aussie accent, it kind of felt a bit more like, oh, this is like a bloke being homophobic. I don't know. I was like, this isn't like a romantic partner. This is like an alpha male just like slapping me.
I don't think that woman had any boundaries. I mean, her behaviour with hitting you, okay.
Well, Chris, I thought that it was like hitting as in like hitting on the shoulder, like, oh, you, not in the face.
Yeah. Not the face. Yeah, I agree. You know, but then this thing of accosting you in the nether regions in a public space at 8 o'clock at night, like, that's out of order in any set of circumstances. Like, you know, that's the sort of stuff that people pick up phones, you ring the British Transport Police about, you know. It's, I think you dodged a bullet there. To be perfectly honest, because God alone knows what would have happened if you'd ended up back in a more intimate setting.
Well, I was going to say, if she hadn't run across the road and had said, let's go back to yours now, I'm ready, would you have?
Thomasin, have you met men?
It's hard to deal with hypotheticals because like, I think now, you know, this is 10 years ago now. So I'm kind of thinking in that moment, I think at that point I was like, this person's like deranged, So it wouldn't have been like a let's go home to like get to it. I think it would have been like at that point I was more like, now I feel bad. Well, no, I mean I was drunk as well, but like I feel bad like leaving this woman. Like if my choices, if she was like, I'm happy with either, I'll either get on the tube or I'll come home. I might have just come because I was like a 10-minute walk. So I'm like, at least there's like a possibility to sober up. Whereas if like you were just released back onto the tube, I don't actually know if you're getting home or what the deal is. So I have no idea. But yeah, but I don't know if.
I feel like your hatred for dating apps and the way you came in so hot at the beginning of this podcast, and now knowing your history, Ali, it's making a lot more sense because I don't think everyone's going through that.
I like personalities, you know. I like people who bring in a lot. I like getting a story out of it. Like I'm more scared of, those stories of people who just constantly have like first dates off of dating apps and it's like always the same. Like I'd rather have like 10 women who slap me, than like constant 2-hour like, oh, you like your job? Yeah, nuts. You got siblings? Oh, that's cool. Oh, I can't be asked for that.
Yeah. I was going to say, like, I'm going to ask our producer, Lucy, if you could just cut that bit where Ali says, I would love 10 women to slap me, and just put it at the beginning of the episode on a loop. And then, I think that would really do well for people sliding into your DMs.
People pay good money for that, man. That's
yeah.
Not sure which direction the transaction would be, but anyway.
I'm paying. Don't worry about that.
In the infinite wisdom that you have now, let's just say hypothetically you weren't in this relationship, just moved in with your lovely girlfriend, and you weren't hating on dating apps. Let's say that you met this person and went on the date with them now. How soon into the date would you end it? Because you let it go quite far.
I wouldn't end it, mate. So if I had it again, I just think it was the fourth bottle of wine was the problem. Everything else, everything else, just that fourth one was just the last. Shouldn't have got that.
No,
because I think then it might have been quite a fun night.
No,
but just a one night. It wouldn't have been. There would have been no second date. I would have been like, morally, I don't think you're a good person, but I'm not that good a person either. So I was happy for us to spend a night together. But now I've realised. I don't think that, unless you want to do it again, but I don't feel like that's.
I just have one sort of slightly logistics question. You were on the train around 8:30 or 9, and by that time you were on your 4th bottle of wine. What time did you start drinking?
I think we were doing about a bottle an hour. So like I think it was pretty much a 5 p.m. Friday date. So you do the maths on your end. I'm not a mathematician. I'm just a drinker, right? So it was an early start, and we got very smooth.
Wow,
very smooth. The cheapest bottle of white wine at that bank pub. I'll tell you that.
Thank you very much for your tale. That was great.
Well, I'm glad that I have these stories. I'm glad I've lived the life. Like I never wanted to be purely one or the other. Like me and my girlfriend talks about this because she's lived a life as well, and I love that about her, that like we're the same age. We're 30. Well, I'm 32, she's going to be 32 in a couple of weeks, but like we've both had a history and all that sort of stuff, and I'm glad that I've had like these single years of like shagging around, having fun, like being very reckless, because I'm like I've lived it, and it's the same way. I wouldn't want that to be forever. Like I'm really glad I'm now in a very settled relationship, and I'm in love, and I love my partner to bits. She loves me back, and that's like best feeling in the world, right? But it's good to have had that as well. Like I wouldn't have wanted to be one of the people who kind of got in a relationship when they were like 18 and that's them. Like I feel like you miss out on something. In the same way, I wouldn't want to be like single bachelor guy all my life, because then that kind of gets stale quite as you get older. But yeah, it's enjoyable.
I feel like that's a great note to end on, listeners.
Yes.
Go on the date. Go on the date.
Honestly, I love it. Yeah. I'm someone who loves dates. I love dating. I love being on a first date, getting to know someone originally, like knowing nothing about them, just going and be like learning about their life. It's the best. Honestly, it's great. It gives you stories, and life moves like that, man. It'll be so quick before you are like just settled, and you're like, oh, I had the chance to go on all these dates and never took it up. I was more happy with how I looked back in the day. I didn't realize at a time, all that sort of stuff. So please go do it. And also, don't look at every relationship and think that's happy. There's so many unhappy relationships out there. Like, that is one of the fallacies of dating, is that it's either unhappy single or happy in relationship. That's ridiculous.
100%.
There's so many relationships that are unhappy. So have self-esteem, date someone that you actually like, that actually likes you, and then you'll be happy.
Love.
Well, there we are. Philosophy on Telling Tinder Tales. Ali, it was lovely to meet you. I wouldn't normally ask anyone any final thoughts, but they're very excellent final thoughts.
And Ali, tell us your socials and tell us what gigs you've got coming up.
You can find me online at Ali Woods Gigs. I also do stand-up as well. I'm going on tour in 2026. And you can get tickets on my website or on my socials. So come along. And I've got material about relationships in my show at the moment. So hopefully see you there.
Sounds right up our listeners' streets. That's great. Thank you for listening today. Thank you to our guest, Ali Woods. And listeners, if you enjoyed it, give us a like, give us a follow, give us a share, subscribe, whatever it is you need to do on the platform you're listening to us on. And please give us a review. It's an up-and-coming podcast. It really makes a difference. Give us 5 stars. If you give us 5 stars, we'll gift you 4 bottles of wine. But if you give us 1 star, I will slap you. And tell someone about us. Do it the old-fashioned way. Tell them face to face. Next time you're out at the Clapham Grand, tell them all about Telling Tinder Tales. And we'd love to hear your story. Get in touch at tellingtindertales@gmail.com.
We've got live shows coming up in Leicester in February, and March we've got Glasgow. Please come along to the shows and appear. Tell your own story.
Yes, and come say hello. Follow us on socials at Telling Tinder Tales for dates and details.
So I think it's time to say goodbye. Say goodbye, folks. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Telling Tinder Tales is hosted and produced by me, Chris O'Neill, and Thomasin Lockwood. Produced and edited by Lucy Regan, with music by Quincas Moreira. It's a Jester's Comedy Dublin production and is no way affiliated with or endorsed by Tinder. If you have a story to tell, please get in touch. Details are in the show notes. And if you like us, instead of swiping right, follow us on Instagram and or TikTok at Telling Tinder Tales.